Hello everybody and welcome back to another CB Show Tunes tutorial. Now today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be learning how to edit our animation live in Unity. Now this of course is going to be a very simple tutorial. I'll briefly run over the script. I'll also cover the animation controller tab real fast, and then of course we'll get into actually Blender to update our FBX file. Now, this may work with OBJ files. I have not tested that out yet. So if you are new to this channel or new to working with animations and all, I would advise using an FBX file, just as a disclaimer and all. Okay, so let's go and take a look at our animation and all, our controls, all that good stuff, right? So everything that's going on right here has been custom made. The walking, the idle animation right here, and of course the hopping animation. So we're going to go ahead and get into how we did all this and what you can do to actually get your game to work similarly to this. So starting off, we're going to, like I said, briefly cover this script just so we can get it out of the way. Now this is a average script that I pretty much use almost in all my builds. You just have your public floats of speed, mouse sensitivity, and jump height. Self-explanatory right there. You also have this mouse X value as a private float that will come into play later when we're trying to adjust our rotation value. We also have our public bool is grounded. That of course is for our jump. We grabbed our animator so we can do animations. We grabbed our rigid body so we could jump, and of course fall. Underneath the void start function, we're just going to grab our components, use it as our reference, and of course under the void update function we created our basic input values, so our X and our Z for horizontal and vertical, and our mouse X value. Make sure that you have this plus equal sign, and that will give us our value for our X value. We also have transform.translate. We have x0z that sets up our movement. We have our transform.rotation is equal to quaternion.euler 0, mouse x 0. That sets up our rotation. Okay, so I created this really spiffy, I guess you could call it an equation or function. And what this is used for is simply to allow us to say, okay, if we have any of these values running, then we're going to be moving. So let's take a look at it. We have if vertical is greater than 0, or vertical is less than 0, or horizontal is less than 0, or horizontal is greater than 0, or mouse X is greater than 0, or mouse X is less than 0. Then we're going to set our anim.setBool is moving is equal to true. So basically we're just saying if any of this information is going to be equal to true, then we're going to have this happen. And if you don't know what this symbol is right here, I don't blame you, barely anybody uses it, but it stands for OR. So it's pretty much right underneath the backspace, and if you hold down shift and select that, then of course it will give you that little weird symbol. Okay, so we're also going to put underneath it else, basically saying if this function is not equal to true, then we're going to say anim.setBool is moving is equal to false. So this just allows us to set us in idle. We also have our jump function. If you notice, we did not use an else if because this is a separate function in and of itself. And we basically just put if we press the spacebar and is grounded is equal to true, then we're going to set our jumping bool to equal true. Our rigid body, we're going to be adding our jump to it. And of course, we set is grounded is equal to false. That way we can't hop again. Outside the void update function and all, we're going to put provide void on collision enter, or private, I mean. I put provide. That was funny. Okay, anyway, we have anim.setBool is jumping is equal to false, and is grounded is equal to true. So that just allows us to reset whenever we hit something, which is terrific. Now, if you want it to just be to where you land on something that's jumpable, then you can do that easily. You just need to put an equation for that. Okay, so like I said, we were briefly covering the script. We're going to go ahead and hop out of the script and head over to our animator. This is a simple animator. We just have two bulls, is moving, is jumping, and of course is moving. We're going to put like a transition between idle and walk. This will be if is moving is equal to true, of course has exit times off, and of course if is moving is equal to false, heading back down to idle, and has exit time off. Now to go into our jump, it's a little bit different from what we normally do. So if you notice, we have two different jump functions. One's called jump start, one's called jump end. This allows us to say, okay, when we start the jump, this is where we're going to be. And when we end the jump, this is where we're going to be. So let's take a look. From our walk and our idle, we're going to be using is jumping is equal to true, and of course has exit time off. It's pretty much the same thing. Now from the jump start, we're going to be heading down. We're not going to add a condition, we're just going to let it drop into jump end. And we're going to have has exit time. So we'll run this animation, and then we'll go to this animation. Now for this animation right here to end, we're going to just say if is moving is equal to true, and is jumping is equal to false. And make sure it has exit times off. And we're going to do the same thing, but vice versa with this one. So is moving is equal to false, and is jumping is equal to false. Okay, so now since we quickly covered that stuff, let's go ahead and head over into what this video is all about. So starting off, we're going to head over into Blender. Now, Blender is, as everybody knows, my go-to program for almost anything. And if you don't know how to use the animation controller, or not the controller, but the animation abilities inside Blender, just leave it inside the comment section below, and I'll go ahead and put up a new tutorial on that. I believe I actually have an older tutorial on animations. I haven't really done much with it lately, so yeah, if you want a newer version and you don't want to have to go look through all the older videos and all, then just, like I said, leave it into the comment section. Okay, so let's go and figure out which one we're going to be updating. So if I take a look at all our animations, we have idle, jump in, jump start, and walk. Let's go and update our idle. So we're going to take a look at it. Okay, that looks pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and update it. Now we have our transitions values at 0, 25, 50, 75. We have this weird one at 85 too, but and then we have one at 100. So if you notice, we could actually add this animation anywhere. I have this set up to live animation update. If you notice this little red mark down here and this rotation as the key value, that allows us to do that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and say let's go into 25. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and just update this. So let's go ahead and press 1, rotate out, and rotate out. And now let's take a look at that. Okay, that's a little something new. And let's go there. Let's go down a little bit. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. I think that looks pretty sweet. So we're going to press Alt-A to stop it from playing. Maybe even raise this out a little bit. Da, da. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Okay, so we just updated it. I'm going to press play. Head back over into Unity. I'm going to press play one more time, just so you guys could see what the idle animation looks like. So that's what it looks like right now. Now what we need to do is we're going to select our ant FBX file and our material, and we're going to go ahead and press delete. Now I know this sounds a little bit crazy, but um, your information will actually stay here on your player. All that's missing is your avatar. So to reinstate your avatar, press File, Export, FBX. Now make sure that you save it as the same thing, otherwise it will not actually import um, back. We're also going to be setting empty, armature, mesh, and other. Make sure that you have camera and lamp deselected. We also want a -Z, forward, and Y up. So let's go ahead and press export. And there we go. Hop back over into Unity. There he is. And oh, before we actually hop into play mode, we will need to select our Ant FBX. Go over to our armature idle on our animation tab. And of course our armature walk. Set those to loop time, loop pose. You'll have to do that every time. Uh, it's just something that you got to do. Okay, so there we go. As you can see, our animation has just updated, which is terrific. Now let's go ahead and change our walk animation, just to show you how easy it is. So we're going to go back into our walk animation, and let's go into about 25, I think. I don't like how wide it's throwing his arms out like that, so let's go ahead and lower it down a little bit. Okay, so let's lower that down a little bit, right about there. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and look at it. Okay, that's a little bit better, I think. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to save this, press File. Oh, before we do that, we do have to come back over into Unity, select, delete. Okay, head back over into Blender, File, Export, FBX, save as the same file, export, and head back over into Unity, let it update, press play, and let's start walking. And as you can see, we gotta reinstate our loop time, loop pose. So let's go and do that. That's always something that I actually forget to do, but you know, you quickly learn from that. Okay, so as you can see, our animation has just updated, which is terrific, right? Okay, so that's all you really got to do whenever you're working with live animations. And you could actually add more animations on there just by simply removing your files, heading back over into Blender, adding a new animation, exporting it, and sending it back over into Unity. So it's really, really cool. You know, if you don't like how an enemy attacks, you could just simply update it inside Blender, then bring it back into Unity, and it works. Alright, I hope you guys liked this video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, check out some other videos. If you have any questions, leave us in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys next time.